Folks, so today's video is look number 3 in my Valentine's Day series, and today's look is inspired by self-love, and for me, self-love is this makeup look. It's a makeup look that I wear whenever I want to feel confident, I want to like feel like a badass bitch, and I want to just kind of go be by myself and like just, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I just feel powerful in this makeup look or any variation of this makeup look. That's what I wanted to share with you guys today, is what makes me feel important. One thing I've noticed about Valentine's Day is people tend to get a little bit sad if they're alone or maybe without a significant other, but it doesn't have to be about that. It can be about self-love as well, just taking yourself out on a date. And I know it sounds silly, but this is something that I've discovered in my sort of later 20s is something that I love to do. Taking some time to be by yourself in the city. One thing that helps me sort of clear my head is, you know, putting on a awesome face of like badass makeup and just going and being sort of anonymous in my city. That means like going walking around, exploring bookstores. One thing I really like to do is just taking myself out for food. It's just like if I see a place that I'm like, oh, that looks interesting, go in. There's nothing stopping you from like taking yourself out on a date and just sort of treating yourself. Maybe, you know, go get your nails done. I do that fairly frequently. You know, getting a pedicure, just taking care of yourself however you want to do that. Those are just some of the suggestions that work for me, but that's something that I think is really important. So you can put on a badass face of makeup and sit on your couch and watch Netflix if that's what you want to do and that's how you treat yourself. Just do that. If you're feeling alone this Valentine's Day, I have been there in the past, and I find the best way to just sort of take yourself out of that mindset is to just treat yourself and spend it as a day to like truly try to love yourself. This is something that I like to wear whenever I want to feel confident, and yeah, so if you guys want to know how to do it, then just stay tuned and here's the tutorial. So I've done about 6,000 to 8,000 different variations of this look. This is just sort of a classic Natasha look. This is something that I've done seriously like a million times over. This is always my go-to whenever I'm going to like an event or I want to feel nice about myself and that kind of thing. Just do a winged liner and red lipstick, which I'll be doing later on in the video. So really for this you can use any variation of shadows that you already have. So typically what I use is I just used a color that matches my skin tone for all over the lid, go in with a little bit of a darker brown into the crease, and then I do some sort of brighter either red, pink, purple, anything underneath the eye. For Valentine's Day obviously I'm going to do a red just because I feel like that sort of is keeping with the theme, but you can really do whatever color you want and change this up for like literally any occasion, and then throw on whatever red lipstick I want. This is the makeup that I feel prettiest in, that I feel most confident in, and that I know people sort of associate me with it. So yeah, so today I'm going to be using something I haven't used in a little while just because I wanted to get use out of it. This is the Kat Von D Shade Light Eye little quad thing. I love this packaging. It's like a hard plastic. So I'm using this shade right here, a little bit of this one, and then this one. So you can see that they're just basic shades. So basically an all over lid color, a slightly darker crease color, and then a slightly more dark crease color, and that's it. And then for underneath the eye I'm using like a burgundy red. I'm taking this color right here, which is called the Calabar from the Juvias Place Masquerade palette. You could use whatever sort of burgundy eyeshadow that you have on hand. That's just the one that I'm going to be using. I recently got in those palettes and I've just been testing them out and excited to use them. And then for brushes I'm just using 3. I'm using a large fluff brush to apply the all over lid color. Going into the crease with the MAC 217, and then just taking a pencil brush for underneath the eye. Alright, so I'm just starting off with that light shade there. This is just going to go all over my lid all the way up to my brow bone. Depending on your skin tone, you're going to want to use one that works for you. If you don't have an eyeshadow shade that's that color, you could always use a face powder if you have one. And then I'm just taking the 217, I'm going to go into more of that peach shade right here. This is just going to add a slight definition into the crease. Just gets a little bit of something going in there that looks like a shadow. It just adds a little bit of depth to the eye. And then I'm going in with this shade right here. This is more of a gray brown, but you could use a warm brown if you want. And this is just going to go more focused right into the crease just to darken that up a little bit. This is something that I do really often, so I can do it very quickly and just be out of the door. It's like I said, it's just a look that I've been doing for years. I change up the eyeshadows depending on what I have close to me and what I can just grab, but just any sort of variation of that eye is something I've done forever. I'm going to go into that burgundy shade called Calabar, and this is a gorgeous eyeshadow. I can't wait to actually use these Juvias Place palettes for like the one palette a week series. I'm going to switch them up. I'm going to do each one a week, so it might take like a couple months before you see them all, but they're coming because they're amazing. So I'm just taking a pencil brush and blending that out. It's so pigmented. And then just to blend that out a little bit more, I'm just taking that brush that we used on the top and just blending it out. Alright, and then from there I'm doing a thick line of liner. The eyeliner that I prefer is the one from Essence. This is like $3, really cheap at the drugstore. This is just their waterproof version. I just like this one the best. It has a little like felt tip sort of applicator. If you prefer brush, you can always opt for ones like that. I just like this one. I use brush or this, doesn't matter. And then from there, I'm putting on mascara and I'm putting on my favorite eyelashes. These ones you guys know are the Sephora Flirt number 30s. I recently went to Sephora to get like several more pairs of these and they are sold out, so I am disappointed. But once they come back in stock, I'm buying like 5 of these because they're great. Alright, so I just threw the eyelashes on and I'm one step closer to finishing my bad bitch final form. Moving on to contour. I already have some contour on, but typically I just like amp it up and like just cake that shit on there. I find the more contour you wear, the less people want to talk to you in public, which is exactly what I want, so let's cake that on there. For highlighter, I'm gonna go in with Becca's Pearl. I'm really just gonna like shine the shit up. And then for lips, I'm gonna use one of my favorite products that I hear like no one on YouTube talk about ever. These are the Rimmel Provocalips like 16-hour double-ended doodads. I love these, and no joke, it might just be what I wear at my wedding because I have put this stuff on, literally done like a 16-hour day, took a nap on the couch, woke up the next morning, it's like over 24 hours and I still had this on and it still looked fine. I can eat food with this on, I can make out with people with this on, people meaning Jeff. I can do most activities with this and it ain't coming off. I love this shit. So I like to line my lips first, so I'm using NYX lip liner in hot red, and then this is like a 2-part thing, so you go in with the color, you wait till it dries, and then you top it off with this gloss. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This is the final makeup and I love these lips. Basically the gloss that's on top of it just sort of stays like that. Your lips stay glossy for a while, which I really like, and it does not move anywhere. And it's like so hard to take these off. I don't mind that because I know it's just going to last. So when it starts to dry down like 6 to 7 hours in, it loses that shine, but you can go back in with the gloss and reapply. The color doesn't really move anywhere. So no joke, this is definitely 16-hour long lasting. I love these. This is the color in Kiss Me You Fool. I also have this darker red, which is in the color Play With Fire. I kind of interchange these depending on what look I'm going with. I probably would have wore the darker one today actually with this look, but I just grabbed this one. Either way, I love these. Yeah. It might just be my wedding lipstick, no joke, because it is so long lasting, and I know that I can put it on and eat like anything I want, and it just makes me feel good, and that's what this video is about. It's about using the makeup that you have that makes you feel good and feel happy with yourself and sexy and everything like that, confident, whatever. So that wraps up day 3 of my Valentine's Day series. Obviously today's focusing on self-love. Just spend time with yourself and just love yourself and do what makes you happy and rock whatever makeup. It doesn't have to be this, but rock whatever makeup that you love, that makes you feel good, and just have your day be about that. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, go treat yourself, take yourself on a date. It's really, really rewarding. A lot of people are scared to sort of go out and do things on their own, like go to the movies or go to dinner or whatever, but trust me, you do it once, you realize how awesome it is that you don't have to like interact with another person. You could just kind of go be by yourself, explore things that you've been meaning to explore, and it's really fun and it's really rewarding. So I highly recommend it if you guys haven't done it before. It's pretty liberating. It's a good feeling. I've done it for years and it's still one of my things that I love to do whenever I'm having sort of like an off week. You know, go get dinner by myself, go to a movie by myself. It's really fun. I do hope you guys are enjoying this week and are just spreading the love throughout Valentine's Day week or whatever. I do hope you guys are enjoying it. Tomorrow I'm gonna do one just inspired by being a badass bitch and being single as fuck, because I have been there. So hopefully you guys stay tuned, and until tomorrow, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!